For STX SoO, his name is hyvaa.
His opponent spawns as Red Zerg on the bottom left position on new Fighting Spirit. His name is SoO, playing for SK Telecom T1.
Yeah. All right, well, we do see that hyvaa's not going to go for a 6 pull. Could go for a 9 or 10 pull, though. I wouldn't put it past him. And he is scouting in the right direction as well, which is going to be, just a little mini victory for him. And SoO not going to be scouting in the right direction, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, this is a standard scouting location for the Zerg players. It seems like as they don't want to see the natural, they want to go inside the main base first and sneak the Overlord inside the main base. STX SoO hyvaa, God. Of course, if you talk about the name of the Korean name of hyvaa is Shindaegun, but there have been some jokes where hyvaa, he could play as a regular hyvaa mode, or he could become a god mode where the pressure works out perfectly well and he overpowers his opponent, and they call him the Taegun Shin. Shin can also mean god in Korean, so if you hear a Korean caster or some fans use that word in a name, for example, Taegun Shin, that could pretty much mean god or god mode.
All right, you're going to see a hatchery first from the look of things from SoO, getting his drone in position. hyvaa, I think he's going to be doing the same thing as well. And yeah, we're going to have hatchery firsts on both ends here. SoO getting his up about a second faster. Not going to really make a difference, though. And it looks like we're going to be seeing a macro game here, potentially. We could see a little bit of aggression as well in the early to mid-game stages, but generally if both players are playing greedy like this, then it shows that they are confident in a macro game.
Just going back to the records between for these two players, hyvaa, he is 3-9 in this matchup. ZvZ in Pro League, as SoO, he is 6-6. hyvaa back in round number 1 when Tal'Darim Altar was still being played. He was sent out as a ZvZ sniper, except he never got the job done for his team, so that's the reason why his record is not fantastic. While SoO, he's been winning matches here and there. He is 13-16 this season, but it seems like they're trusting on S2 a lot more than SoO this season.
Yeah, indeed they are. S2 also has a much more solid record in Pro League over SoO, but SoO seems to be doing a little bit better when it comes to the individual leagues. Alright, so the hatchery about to finish for both players, so they're getting the pools up, their gas and stuff. But we do have a gas a little bit quicker for hyvaa, though. He is the player that likes to play more aggressive, so not really a surprise to see him getting the earlier gas so he can get that Zergling speed out.
Yeah, he played a little bit greedy against his opponent, but hey, your opponents open up with a 15 hatch first, you go for the gas, play a little bit more greedy, and you can stay a little bit more aggressive as the time goes on, as you're going to have the speed faster than your opponent, you're going to have the bailing nest much faster than your opponent.
Yep. Alright, well, SoO just droning up a little bit more here than his opponent, not getting the gas yet, just really powering up, getting 2 queens as well as his opponent is 2. And we're going to have to see. hyvaa is making some Zerglings right now. We're going to have to see how much pressure he wants to put on. Remember, there's going to be no Banelings, and there's going to be no Zergling speed should SoO have to defend against his opponent.
Yes, and now it's really up to SoO to make sure his opponent does not scout inside the main base to see the lack of gas, and also do not show the speed Zerglings, and also scout the speed Zerglings, but also just not showing to his opponent that he does not have the speed, because once hyvaa realizes that SoO doesn't have speed, he's going to gear up for a timing attack against his opponent. While SoO, he still needs to start mining from the gases to start getting the speed on the Zerglings and the bailing nest.
Yeah. I think SoO wanted to try to get just another peek on the speed there to kind of gauge the timing for it. And looks like, SoO, he's getting his gases now. Up to 18 lings are in production, though, for hyvaa. He's making a lot of Zerglings here. The Baneling Nest is going to complete very soon, as well as Zergling speed, a Spine Crawler on the way, as well as an Evolution Chamber. We're seeing a potential wall-off here. Actually, a pretty cool-looking good wall-off there from SoO as well. He can start pressing out his creep as well, but he needs... Okay, he knows about the Zerglings now. He's making a Roach Swarm, but this is going to force SoO to get some Zerglings, I think, in this scenario.
Yeah, well, SoO does have up to 3 queens, and it's really up to hyvaa to break this wall. He does have a lot of Zerglings over there, but the queen wall is tight in this location, and hyvaa cannot break it with pure Zerglings.
Yeah, not committing any Banelings just yet. He's actually getting a Roach Warren of his own. Now, okay, also SoO getting that layer up, and... okay, I think this really, just reflects their play styles. SoO, he wanted to go more towards that macro stage of the game, but hyvaa, on the other hand, You know, he wanted to be aggressive early on, and now we're starting to see it in the drone count difference here. SoO is way far ahead of his opponent as far as drones go, but hyvaa building 9 roaches, up to 10 in production here. He wants to go for a big timing without too many extra drones.
In fact, hyvaa is not looking towards the mid-game to the late game. He's going to finish the game where he excels at. In the early game when he can apply a lot of pressure against his opponent. So this is going to be do-or-nothing situation for hyvaa. We don't have a layer going up. We don't have any upgrades for the roaches from hyvaa's side. We don't have any additional drones being made. He's going to finish the game with the zerglings and the roaches that he has right now.
Well, 20 more additional zerglings in production here. No banelings to see. Okay, 5 in production now. This is going to be a very strong timing from hyvaa, but if S2 can hold, he will win this game. Look at this. He knows what's coming his way, building 2 extra spine crawlers. He's got a lot of roaches now, up to 11, so the roach count's looking pretty even here. The problem is going to be the additional zerglings and banelings that are moving in here, and the wall is not tight anymore. The queens and roaches trying to fight. The banelings, they're connecting with a lot of units here, but is it going to be enough? hyvaa trying to press forward here. The queens, though, doing an amazing job at defending. 1 falls. The roach count is too high, though, for SoO, and he does manage to defend the pressure, still with a nice drone advantage.
And this is going to snowball into the game. The +1 is going to finish. The layer is finished, which means SoO can start going for the roach speed upgrade. And remember, right now SoO has a lot more drones than his opponent. In fact, hyvaa is making up to 10 zerglings right now. He's making additional units, but as time goes on, SoO is going to have easier time defending against the pressure, and he is going to win the game against hyvaa.
hyvaa is just simply desperate to make something happen here. He's so far behind in pretty much everything. Even his army is not as good, and you know, you can't even attack in this position here. Basically, the building structures, how the units for SoO are positioned, it's like funneling these units 300 style into a small little, you know, area where they can easily get picked off here by the superior forces of SoO, and just it's not looking good for hyvaa here. He's continuing to make units, but I just don't see this working.
It's not going to work at this point. He has a lot of zerglings, which is going to melt to the roaches and the spine crawlers over there. The roach count for SoO right now is so solid that he could just push out on the map and finish his opponent. Right now, SoO's just waiting for the +1 to finish, which it already did, and he's waiting for the speed to finish, but he also wants to make sure that he doesn't get surrounded by the zerglings completely once he steps outside of the main base. That's the reason why he is playing it safe. And this allows hyvaa to make more drones behind this, but no, he's just going to try to find the timing window against his opponent while making a lot more zerglings.
I'm not sure if that's going to work. The overlords are in a good placement as well. Oh, zergling run by at the natural here, going to pick off the queen. Additional roaches as well going after that Evo chamber. And now SoO, he's got to decide, you know, where do I put my units? Do I attack? Oh, whoa. Random GG call there from hyvaa, but that will secure the victory for SoO there.
I wouldn't call it random because SoO was making constant roaches back at the main base. I guess hyvaa saw the number of zerglings and saw a number of roaches streaming across the map, knowing that even if it was a base area scenario, his opponent's roaches would take out the buildings much faster than the zerglings.
Yeah. I guess, though, generally the Korean pro gamers, they like to battle it out till the bitter end. hyvaa, though, realized in the situation he was in, he couldn't take the heat, and he tapped out. So now we have the score being 3-2, with SK Telecom taking the lead this time around. And it's going to come down to the 6th set if the next player, Bisu, can win over his opponent here, Trap. Then we will see a 4-2 victory for SK Telecom over STX SoO. If not, we will go into the ace match.